Hey, I'm Maddie and I've been living in my converted minivan for a little under a year now. Today I want to show you how I make my money DoorDash. I have used other grocery delivery services and fast food delivery services, but DoorDash is my main one because it's pretty easy to go from city to city, and if you're choosy about what orders you pick up, you can make pretty good money. First, I'm going to give you some basic information, and then I'll show you a typical day that I filmed a few weeks ago in Austin, Texas. Let's kick things off with the pros and cons. First, the reason I took this job in the first place is that you can do it whenever you want. You probably get more orders on the weekends and in the evenings, but you still have that sense of spontaneity that's really important to me while I'm living in my van. Being able to choose, okay, I'm up to working today, or I need a day of rest, so we're going to do that later. You also get to talk to local people and explore the city more than you probably would if you were just passing through. It's also pretty easy. All you need is a smartphone and a vehicle, although if you're driving a big van or like an RV or a schoolie, it's probably more complicated than it's worth. And really my favorite part about this job is I feel like I'm helping people. I'm sure a lot of the time I'm delivering to people that just don't want to leave the house or something, but sometimes I know I've delivered to people that are either too sick to leave or they can't drive, something like that. It's a good job to do because you feel like you're doing a service to people instead of just working to make money. On the flip side of that, the cons are that the in-app navigation system really frustrates me. You do have to spend your own gas money. I'm not a huge fan of driving itself, especially in a new place. It's kind of stressful. Plus, it doesn't always pay well. It's kind of a gamble because you can't choose from a list of orders. An order pops up and you can choose to accept it or deny it, and you never really know, was that the best order you're going to get for today, or would something else better have popped up if you had not taken that order? I try to work usually from around 11 or 12 to maybe 9 or 10 at night. I usually spend over a quarter tank of gas in that time. A typical order could last 20 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe even 40 if it's taking a really long time. I try not to accept anything under $5, and usually a really good amount would be $10. Sometimes you can even make up to 20 in an order. When I first started and I just picked up whatever order popped up on my phone, I was making about $10 an hour. But now that I'm a little more selective, I can make $15 an hour on average, or on a really good day, $20 an hour. Sometimes you do get stacked orders, which you'll see in my typical day, where DoorDash asks you to do 2 orders at once. Normally it's a good thing because you're picking up from the same neighborhood, dropping off from the same neighborhood, so that's less gas you have to spend on an order and less time. But the downside to that is sometimes they ask you to pick up the second order while you're driving, and while you're driving a car, you don't want to look down at your phone and get all the details, so it's hard to make a smart decision quickly. Anyway, let me show you in my typical day. First thing I do is make sure you have a big breakfast, because I don't really take breaks. Well, I guess you could take breaks to eat, but I don't. So I try to get on the road by 11, but it's already almost 12 because for some reason I was thinking daylight savings time means you got an extra hour, but if it's spring and we're springing forward, you get taken away an hour. So, okay, already off to a late start. One of the perks of this job is that you can wear whatever you want to, so I take advantage of that by dressing comfy. A lot of times, like once I start hopping in and out of my car constantly, I get really hot. It also helps living in my van too, because like if I want to put on sandals, I can. If I want to change from pants to shorts, easy. I always make sure I have stuff up here that's going to help me throughout the day. Water, got the rest of my coffee. Gotta have a phone charger. Excuse all my trash down here. But I always have a snack up here and sunglasses. The first thing I'm gonna do is go to a restroom because I cannot tell you how much of my day I spend hungry, thirsty, or really having to go to the bathroom. Alrighty, so I'm ready to go. I'm opening the Dasher app. And you can see there's a lot of different zones. I'm gonna go to this one down here because even though it's not as busy as the others, I know the one I'm in is downtown Austin, and it is so... There's South by Southwest, which is like a music and TV festival going on right now, and the rate you get paid is still about the same as it usually is, but it's a very much more stressful situation. So I am going to choose this one down here that I've been doing the past couple days, so I know my way around. I'm gonna dash till, let's say, 10. So you can start and stop dashes as you go, but I try not to, just because that it's just a personal preference. It really doesn't matter. But when they give you the statistics, at the end of the day, it's statistics per dash, and it's easier for me to just look at it all at once instead of keeping track of numbers in my head, adding it up, and then trying to compare it to like another day and adding all those numbers up. So that's what we're gonna do.
Head west on East Avenue toward Ann and Roy Butler Hike and Bike Trail.
Torchy's Tacos. Okay, that is 5.2 miles, and I get paid about $11.50. So I am going to accept that. It's 2 orders though, and that's harder, but I'll take it. Good enough, especially because it's already almost 12:30. You know, I kind of really messed up about that whole daylight saving thing.
Head west on East Avenue toward Ann and Roy Butler Hike and Bike Trail.
This Torchy's Tacos is on South Congress, which is like an iconic, cool road to walk up and down in Austin. So that's one of the perks of doing van life and DoorDash, is that you get to explore places. You just get familiar with the city, I guess, even though you're only there for a short time. Okay, here's the place. Now the problem is going to be parking. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Somehow there were spots in that lot. Got this thing, got my phone, got my little mask. Okay, I'll just tell you, in the first pouch of my fanny pack, I keep my keys and my main keys and wallets and a personal defense tool. Not going to say specifically what it is in case anyone with bad intentions is watching this. And in the first, I have my prepaid cards, and this little strap always has my keys on it, so I don't lose them. And then I have my little masky in my phone, and then we're all ready. Okay, so there was a super long line in there, but there's always a place, there's usually a place you can go that says like DoorDash or delivery, pick up here, and you kind of skip the line because of that. Now, a few days ago, someone actually said something like, "You're not special to me," because I was, you know, making a beeline straight to the delivery pickup. And that hurt my feelings. And I did cry a little, but you didn't see, so I think I came out on top of that interaction. Now navigating to our first customer. That took longer than it normally does. Normally, well, maybe 50% of the time, the directions are handed to them, and half of the time it's no contact delivery, which just means you leave it there. But for them, it said hand to them, so I had to wait. My biggest frustration with DoorDash is that this navigation system does not really help me sometimes. Sometimes it's inaccurate. Sometimes it doesn't warn me of things in time. So I end up, go ahead, buddy. I end up doing a lot of U-turns. Is my destination on the right? Make up your damn mind. Okay, apartment 1060, and there's no other directions. Oh, might be over here. They're another person that wants it handed to them, so I'm gonna go do that. Alright, so that I made more than expected. This one that just popped up, that's 8 miles of driving for $10 a pay, so I'm going to decline that. So the more you accept, the better your dasher rate is, and the more you decline, the worse it is. But, like, I'm also not going to spend time on something where I'm not paid well, you know? The more orders I fit into a day, the more I get paid. So if something's really far away, okay, this one is 1.4 miles, $6.50. So, okay, and it's a place called Cafe Cream, so I bet it's just like picking up donuts or something. So you never really know when an order is going to end up taking 70 billion years. Like, that one, my DoorDash app showed he ordered 6 items. Their information said he ordered 2. I tried texting and calling him. He didn't answer. It had been 5 minutes, and I'm only getting paid $6.50 to wait around. So, you know, I don't really have all the time in the world. And it's because of that I try not to take orders that are like maybe under $5 or so. Since it's the weekend, I'm trying not to take orders less than $7, but I kind of forgot on that one, and I was like, oh, $6 for just going 1 mile? That's easy. But you never know when you're gonna have to spend a half an hour waiting around. Hopefully this is the right one. I really wish that I was paid by the minute or so I could make sure that the customer got exactly what they wanted, but unfortunately that's not the case. So that was what the no contact delivery looked like. I saw the person open their door and get it, and they didn't say, oh, this was supposed to be 6 items, not 2. So hopefully they liked it. I think they would have said something to me if they didn't. Alright, we already got our next order. 8 miles for $9. No thanks. Decline. The order is too small. I don't get out of bed for that much. So as you can see on this map, I navigated back to the area where the red is. Okay, here's another order. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, if you're in the red zone, you're more likely to get more orders, and you don't necessarily have to be there all the time, I don't think, but I didn't want to just wait around in that person's driveway. So sometimes people order from 7-Eleven and you just go up to the counter and ask for the things because they already have them compiled for you. If you go to Walgreens, they're gonna, you have to like walk around and shop for the stuff. As you can see, sometimes the parking situation is really rough. I gave these cars the most space I could, but they're like both over the line. Crap, I can't get out of here. I guess I'll have to go find another parking spot. The place I'm going to is called Los Mangos Ice Cream, and it's right there. So maybe I can even find a better spot. Or, look, over here. Wide open parking. Wide open parking. Room to make her big mistake. So that ice cream was going to an apartment building. Apartments are kind of annoying because first you gotta do the gate code and people behind you are getting mad because they have to wait a few seconds because you're new at this. Just let them. That's what I say. But then it's also frustrating because a lot of times the GPS doesn't take you directly to the person's building, especially if it's an apartment complex. It's multiple buildings, you know, so you have to wander around. I'm currently trying to find building 8 and it took me back here to building 12, but I put that order in my little DoorDash bag. Sometimes I just set the food on my console and put my winter coat over it because that'll insulate it too, and it's easier than getting something in and out of a bag. Here's building 8. But anyway, this time I put it in my bag because it's ice. It wasn't really ice cream, it was kind of a slushy. Sometimes I like to use my DoorDash bag because if people have a ring doorbell and they're recording you, then they're like, oh, what a nice little delivery girl. She kept our food cool for us. Then maybe they'll tip extra big. Make sure to lock it. Now we're off to find apartment 813. 813. This is ATX. Now you can see why I'm avoiding downtown. But I ended up here anyway. Delivering downtown was so hard. First you saw how bad the traffic was. Then I couldn't find a parking spot. Finally, a spot opens up and street parking. And first I go to the wrong building. Then I get to the right building and I can't get, it said enter your PIN to get into the building, and so couldn't do that. I'll tell you the rest later. Okay, sorry, there was just a person and I'm embarrassed to be vlogging in my car in front of other people. So, also, by the way, I was looking back at videos I've already taken today and I can't see what I'm filming, so sometimes the frame is like cuts off right here, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to look at my ceiling so much. Anyway, someone else was entering the building, so I went in with them. The person in the lobby had to call both of our people we were delivering to and being like, hi, can I let up a delivery person on your behalf? Then we got to the elevator. First, I took it to the wrong door because it was 11:02 and in my head I was thinking 11:06, but as soon as I took out my phone to make sure, and someone popped their head out the door and be like, hi, are you delivering DoorDash? So I was like, oh, okay, my bad. And he knew, because I was calling him for finding a parking spot and not being able to get into the building, so he knew how frustrated I was, and he gave me $2 extra on the app as a tip and $10 in cash. Oh my goodness. Thank you to the nice people out there. But here's the thing I've noticed about tipping is that the people that tip super well are usually the older generations, you know, which I was surprised by because I've heard people who work at restaurants say we can rely on millennials to tip, and that's actually the opposite. Sometimes young people do not tip me. Come on, young people. Do it for your reputation, if nothing else. It's 6 o'clock now, so it's peak time, and so you get paid maybe an extra $1, an extra $2 by DoorDash. It depends on the scarcity of dashers in that area instead of just how busy it is. So I'm sitting, I don't know what these cars are honking at. I'm sitting in the drive-through line There's 10 cars ahead of me, and normally I would have to cancel this order, but I am getting paid $17. So, okay. My back is hurting because I've been sitting in my car all day. My teeth hurt because, like, my jaw hurts is what I mean, because I clench my teeth when I'm stressed, and I'm stressed when I'm driving a lot of the time. It's not fun, but I am making pretty good money today. That took me an hour and a half. Looking back, I wish I didn't accept that order. So, if there was an order, it was 8 miles, and you had to go through downtown, and it was $17 you were getting paid. Would you take it? But what if it was from Wingstop, who's always super fast, they're always really good? What would you do? I don't know, but I took it right now, so whoops, I might be regretting it, but we'll see. Just dropped off my last delivery. I am beat. Let's look at my stats for the end of the day. That is right by where I'm sleeping, so. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that. I just want to go to bed. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. Fun fact, this hotel was my last delivery last night, and it's my last delivery tonight too. Let's look at how much money I made. Okay, so total is that plus the $10 is almost $200. Coming home to a messy house. When I drive a lot in the city, everything, because you're stopping and going, you're taking sharp turns sometimes. Everything goes all over the place. Okay, I'm just going to bed. I'm taking my smelly self in my gross house and just being like, whatever. So that ended up being a pretty high-paying day. I don't think I've ever made more than $200 in one day. I did use up around $25 worth of gas on that day, and I drove 87.1 miles. I was really nervous about getting a parking ticket or getting towed because parking was just so desperate. I was really worried about that, and that would suck to have to pay hundreds of dollars on an order where I'm making 6 or something. So I'm very lucky nothing like that happened, and it hasn't happened so far, so fingers crossed it never does. If you have any questions on this job pertaining to van life or just in general, please let me know, and have an amazing rest of your day. See ya!